Hello, real estate investing fools. So when I say Orlando, Florida, you're probably thinking one thing, vacation time, but there's far more to this Florida city than Disney and Universal. So we're going to dive into that with Natalie Arrowsmith, who's the president of the Orlando Regional Realtor Association. She first opened her own brokerage in 2010. She became a broker owner with Next Home. She's got a lot of experience with both owner-occupied and investment properties. So welcome, Natalie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I know this is a hot market. How hot is it in Orlando, beyond the temperature, of course?
I always like to say it's a very insane market right now. I've been in the industry since 2004. I've lived through the ebbs and flows of the recession as a realtor. And coming into this market, it's probably the craziest I've seen in a very long time.
Well, is there any hope out there on the inventory front? I've heard in some markets that inventory is increasing a little bit.
We're starting to see a little bit of a creep up in inventory. What we are starting to see is a little bit of a price decrease in inventory, where somebody has sold their house and a neighbor says, "Oh, I can sell mine for $30,000 more," and then it sits on the market and they can't. And so we're kind of starting to see that little bit of a trend right now.
What's your overall market speed right now? How fast are things selling in general?
Well, so a normal market is 6 months of inventory. If we were to sell everything, we'd be out of houses in 6 months. 3 months is a seller's market, and right now we're at about 2 weeks. That tells you it's insane. Yeah.
So that's really increasing how fast a home probably sells. Are you having multiple offers, bidding wars, all of that?
On everything. We have any price point. Actually. But yeah, 10 offers within an hour. People lined up out the street during open houses. It's a multiple offer, bidding war.
So is it people buying sight unseen? Are there investors coming in from out of state? We've seen a lot of like New York to Florida migration. Is that impacting Orlando?
It is. And we do see a lot of that. I would say it's roughly about a 50-50. 50% probably come in sight unseen just because they want to get in there and get it under contract. But we still do have very diligent buyers who want to see it first before they make the offer on it.
What's happened with foreign buyers? I know foreign buyers are a big part of especially the Miami market. Is that true for Orlando too?
Well, so we have a huge global market here in the Orlando area. And so we still are continuing to see our global market thrive.
Interesting. So I know single family homes are selling really fast. What's the multifamily and condo landscape like? Is that similar, or is the demand really for single family?
It is. When you have about 2,500 homes in the metro Orlando area to sell, condos, multifamily, those are increasing in sales as well.
What about short-term rentals? I know there's a big vacation market there. You've got Disney, you've got Universal, you've got people coming in a lot for vacations. I have a friend who has a vacation property there. Are there people buying up multiple properties for vacation rentals?
Yes. We're not seeing it as large as we would possibly when the inventory was larger and prices were lower, but we still are seeing very much people buying homes for short-term rentals.
What's the climate like in terms of the local legislation on Airbnb and things like that in Orlando?
Well, it depends on where you are in the Central Florida area. We have some communities who really are trying to mandate the Airbnb and, not allowing it. But we do try to watch that. And we do try to advocate for private property rights and for Airbnb to be able to do what they need to do. So it really depends on the community that you're in.
What's the zoning landscape like in general? Do you have a city council that does the planning, or how does that work?
Most of our cities are city council. They depend on if they're, strong mayor or strong city manager, and a lot of them go through planning and zoning. I don't really know of a city or municipality that doesn't have that.
So let's talk about this survey that you released last month. I saw that Lake Nona, Davenport, and Winter Park are places where there's a lot of activity. Obviously, there's not much inventory. So are those good spots for investors? Is it just too challenging right now?
No. I think that anywhere in our Central Florida area right now is very interesting for investors. We have a new beltway coming in on the northwest side that's going to connect our Seminole County to our Orange County. And it'll be a true beltway around Orlando, which actually was already completed down towards the Lake Nona area. We have huge growth going in the Lake Nona area, huge growth going in the Apopka area. It's just really, honestly, all of Central Florida right now is hot. I know our survey said those were the 3 hottest places, but those are the 3 hottest places that the people who took the survey are saying. But I would agree with them. Lake Nona, Davenport, you have a lot of growth going on down there because you have the medical center, medical city, and things of that nature going on down there, and you're close to the airport, so it's always a great investment.
And at Lake Nona, they're expanding the airport, right? Isn't there also something happening there as well?
I believe so. We've got a new terminal that we're putting in. They've been working on that for a couple of years, and you should see Terminal C. It is gorgeous. It's going to take the Orlando International Airport to just a whole nother level.
And I would imagine traffic is increasing through the Orlando airport as the city grows.
Yes, absolutely.
What about remote working? A lot of people have gone to Florida because of that. We're already seeing with offices are pushing back when they're going to require people to go back. Do you feel like remote working has really brought more people to Orlando?
Absolutely. We have about 1,000 people a week moving into the state of Florida. And I think what's happened is people come to Orlando to vacation, and then they realize I can work from here and I can vacation from here all in the same time. So I think that has a huge drive for people coming to our Central Florida area.
Well, I think people miss out on the fact that Orlando is actually a city. It's not just, resort parks. So what is the urban core like in Orlando?
So I'm 5 generations from about 11 miles north of Orlando.
Oh,
and
cool.
And so the communities in the urban areas are just beautiful. We have an eco drive in the northwest Orange County area that is stunning. Bike trails. We have the West Orange Bike Trail that travels from city to city. It's an old railroad line that they had tore up and turned it into a bike trail, which has made some of the dying cities actually thrive and made them some of the really cool spots to kind of live, work, play, walk, and hang out. So we have a lot of that going on in our area. Orlando is not just a tourist center. We have a lot of community here as well.
I think that's a really important thing for people to know. I wanted to also ask you about people becoming real estate agents. Right now, I know we have more agents in the country than we have homes for sale, which is a very unusual situation. You have seen a record number of people become realtors in the Orlando area. How has that changed your organization? Your association has kind of grown by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, so I think nationwide we have 1.43 million realtors. In the Central Florida area, we have 19,000 just within the Orlando Regional Realtor Association. So we have seen an increase in realtors over the past year. But you know what? I think it's great. I think it's great for the association. I think that it's wonderful that people want to take that extra step to get educated before they sell a home or before they work with friends and family. And so, I applaud people for going out and working on getting some sort of professional background.
Excellent. So you mentioned some of the transformation in the urban core. What other developments and commercial real estate opportunities are you seeing right now? One of the things I've been watching around Orlando is Amazon has done a lot of warehousing there. What else are you seeing? We have so much growth coming in around that beltway that I was talking about earlier. To name a few, I at a loss for naming a few right at the moment. I'm sorry. But I would say that what you want to look at if you're coming into the Central Florida area is look for that beltway that's going around the Central Florida area. You're going to see where Amazon is actually coming in there. You're going to see where the medical center is happening over in Lake Nona, and the tennis arena that's over there, and just different groups that are coming into the Orlando area. Interesting. So it's really developing as a city. What's your population like?
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. I don't know the answer to that.
That's okay.
It's weird because I could probably tell you by a few cities, but I don't think I could tell you by the whole metro Orlando.
But definitely seeing a lot of
Millions.
population increase, definitely
Yes.
growing
Yes.
as
Yes.
a city.
Absolutely.
Also attracting a lot of companies too. One of the things that we've been following is different headquarters coming to the Orlando area. So that's something that's increasing as well, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, just to wrap up, what would you want someone from out of state to know about Orlando if all they know is Disney?
I would say that what you need to know about Orlando is we are in the very center of the state. We are 45 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes each way to a beach. We have some of the most magnificent beaches on our either side of us in Orlando, from the East Coast with New Smyrna and Cocoa to the West Coast on our Tampa area, all the way down to Sarasota. It's an easy drive from the Central Florida area. We also have one of our largest ecotourism areas in the Central Florida area. And like I said before, we're very much community oriented in the Orlando area. We all have this, it's not like a family feel, but it's still, I call it the biggest, the largest small city you can go to. So, biggest small town, that's what I was trying to say. Biggest small town you could go to, because we all have that family feeling with each other. It's very community driven.
I love that. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Natalie. Listeners, you can check out orlandorealtors.org to check out the latest market data. Stay well and stay invested.